Are we going live today?
No, it's not. All right, welcome back to the I Love Annuities podcast. I am Jeremiah Conger.
And I am Zachary Van Ness. Together we are the Annuity Dudes.
Today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood topics in finance, and that is annuities and the truth, the real truth about commissions and fees.
Yeah, so if you've ever heard that annuities are riddled with hidden fees,
Riddled, I tell you.
You should get a Riddler in there.
Riddler.
Or if you've heard that agents make a huge commission off of your money, stay tuned. We're about to debunk the myths, break down the facts, and show how annuities stack up against traditional advisor fees.
Yeah, this is going to be one that is truly unveiling the curtain on all of these hidden fees and these big boasted commissions. So let's talk about it. Zach, what do you got?
Yeah, so in the annuity world, a commission is what the insurance company pays to the licensed professional when you purchase an annuity. It's a one-time commission payment.
And here's what most people don't know. The commission is paid directly by the carrier, not withdrawn from your account. It doesn't come out of an annual fee that's charged against you. It's directly paid by the insurance company. So in other words, if you deposit $100,000, that's what starts working for you on day one, the exact amount of $100,000.
That's right. So contrast that with a typical 1% annual management fee from a financial advisor. That comes directly out of your account every year, whether the market is up, down, or sideways. So I think what we've found from our world is that oftentimes we'll have that question of, okay, well, how do you make money? Zach, how do you earn a living? I realize you've got to make money, but how are you paid? And I think I could be wrong. I think a lot of the question that comes around that is in relation to what they've experienced with an annual fee that they're paying their advisor.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of sometimes confusion or just a lack of understanding around the difference between an investment advisor or a registered investment advisor and an annuity advisor. Most annuity products are going to be pay out to the advisor a commission, whereas the investment advisor or the person that is managing your investments or your portfolio, they're charging a management fee on that lump sum of money each year. So let's go ahead and shed some light on the commissions by annuity type. And so we're going to go down a list and go product by product. Let's start with the fixed indexed annuity, or the FIA. The commission ranges are going to be tied specifically to the surrender schedule. So in other words, the longer term the contract is, the potential that the commission to that advisor or writing agent is going to be higher. But those commissions, depending on the specific product and the surrender schedule or term, can range anywhere from 4% on the low end. I've actually seen them a bit less, but on average, 4% on the low end to upwards of 7% in a one-time commission. There is no explicit annual fee that's charged to the client in order to pay the writing advisor. Again, the carrier pays that commission, so there's no fee being charged to the client for that advisor's services. And you also get 100% of your premium working for you immediately. So again, if you put that 100,000 in, 100,000 is credited to your annuity's account value day one. The next is the multi-year guaranteed annuity, or the MYGA, MYGA. And that commission, again, is going to be directly correlated to the agreed amount of time or the contract term. The lower the term, the lower the commission is to the agent. That range is going to be anywhere from 1.5% on average to 3% in commission. It's very rare that you do see that 3% unless you're looking at a 10-year MYGA. but most of them are going to fall right in the middle of that range, around 2.5%. Think of them like tax deferred CDs. Again, it's a time deposit vehicle. The longer term, the higher the fixed rate is on that guaranteed contract. And that, again, commission is paid directly by the annuity provider or insurance carrier. It's not deducted from your principal. It's not charged to you by an annual fee to help cover the commissions to that agent. Next would be the single premium immediate annuity and deferred income annuity. And that range is going to be anywhere from 1.5% to 4% commission based on the payout size and age. So if it's a lifetime structure, it's going to be on the higher side of that spectrum. If it's a guaranteed term, so it's maybe a 10-year payout or something along those lines, it's going to be on the lower end. And that's already built into the pricing structure. So all of your premiums are, again, counting dollar for dollar day one going into the contract. And whatever income is guaranteed, it's already being priced in. That commission's already being priced in to those figures. So there's no additional fees or hidden fees, again, that are being charged to you after you've already been in the contract and started down the path of having that income. Last but not least is the variable annuity, the VA. These are going to include anywhere from 3 to 5 different fees in some products under the variable annuity label. These are going to include things like mortality and expense fees, rider charges for income or death benefit, fund expenses, and load fees for those particular sub-accounts that are being used to grow that annuity. That is the annuity that gives the word annuity the bad rap. And many now offer fee transparency, and there can be some low cost alternatives in that variable annuity space, but I would really blame the variable annuity as the product that's given the black eye on the industry when it comes to being known as highly feed or hidden fees. Would you agree with that, Zach?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think one of the things that we've seen and come across the desk a few times more recently are folks looking to exit a variable annuity, and not being fully aware of what they have within that policy. Oftentimes they're not fully explained in great detail. So we find that they're potentially lacking in that performance because these fees are lagging them down.
Yeah, I couldn't agree there more.
Now, one thing that I've had come up more recently also is just that I've had a few calls where somebody may have asked, okay, well, what if I go directly to the carrier and get this annuity? Will I have a better rate? Will I
Yeah.
have a higher income amount? And well, I guess unfortunately for the consumer, it doesn't change anything. So whether it's going through somebody like ourselves or another advisor, it wouldn't change that commit. That wouldn't change the interest rate. Wouldn't change the income amount. It would be still the same across the board.
Yeah, that's true. I could understand the logic there, though, trying to like cut out the middleman, if you will,
Right.
to get a
Yep.
better deal. But the way the industry has been built is based on, leveraging an agent or advisor network to distribute the products. And therefore, that's the way that the model has always been and most likely will continue to be, because without that sales force or those boots on the ground, the distribution of those products doesn't occur as often. So let's go back in now to our segment here, comparing traditional investment advisors versus the annuity advisor or exclusive, annuity agent. So if we look at investment advisors, right, that charge what's called an asset under management fee. Let's say you've got 500,000 managed by an investment advisor charging a 1% AUM or assets under management fee. You're going to be paying an annual fee every year based on the growth or lack thereof sometimes, just the general value of that initial principal. So we start out with 500,000. That 1 year, first year of that management is going to have a 1% fee charged against it. So that would be $5,000 in AUM fees that you're paying to that investment advisor. If you look at it on an ongoing basis, when the advisor charges that 1% fee, it's going to be based on just the total account value each year. So if you have gains, which is good, that investment advisor is getting paid more. But what's also unique is that if you have losses, that investment advisor still gets paid too. It's 1% of that total account value. So over 20 years, let's just straight line, if you're just paying $5,000 on that 500,000, so 1%, assuming you didn't have any growth or loss, that's going to be over $100,000 in fees, even if the portfolio lost value along the way. So there's a lot more money at stake in terms of fees that's being lost to your bottom, and affecting your bottom line, that's going to the investment advisor. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that investment advisors shouldn't be paid. They definitely should be, but only if they're providing value and, you're perceiving it as value.
Yeah, I think what we see with many clients is some frustration around that as they're entering retirement, saying, hey, I've got to be able to fund my lifestyle and live life and have some type of way to give myself $5,000 a month, whatever it might be. Well, when we look at that and we ask that advisor how that's going to be accomplished, well, typically it's pulling from that account. And if we're depleting it that much more and eroding it year over year with that fee, that pain can really sink in if the markets aren't doing what you need it to do. So if we compare that, and by looking at it from that perspective, we would compare it to an annuity, right? We get a one-time commission, let's call it 5%. So we put in 500,000, 5% one-time commission of $25,000 paid out to the annuity advisor. You pay nothing out of pocket. Again, the insurance carrier or annuity company is paying that to the advisor. There's no ongoing withdrawals, no annual fees that come with that. And in many cases, you lock in that guaranteed income for life.
And that's something that I feel is oftentimes overlooked in terms of pure value and clarity and peace of mind. Is an investment advisor, again, not knocking our friends on the other side of the fence here, but none of them can guarantee you an income stream for life. And I can guarantee you that no investment advisor can guarantee an income stream for life based on investing, managing your investment portfolio. So when you look at fee parity, let's say you're paying a 1% fee on assets under management, and maybe you buy an indexed annuity with a guaranteed lifetime income rider that's a 1% annual fee. The 1% annual fee you're paying on the income rider is giving you a contractual guarantee on income for life. Whereas the 1% fee that you're being charged for assets under management can never guarantee you an income stream for life. As a matter of fact, it can't guarantee anything. So when you look at it from that perspective, there's a lot of value in an annuity rider or income rider that's charging a 1% fee when you compare them side by side in terms of pros and cons. And by the way, that commission doesn't ever scale with your balance. So it's not like the advisor is receiving a higher commission every time your balance goes up, but the 1% asset under management fee does scale up as that balance grows.
That's right. So next, what we would want to do is let's jump in, Jeremiah. Let's squash the hidden fee myth.
Perfect.
I hope you got some audio for that. That's a good one.
Let's see. What did I?
He's heating up.
So let's take a look at hidden fees. So let's squash it, right? Fixed and fixed indexed annuities typically have no explicit client fees. There's no advisory fees, no front-end sales loads, no ongoing fees. The only time there would be a fee, Zach, right, is what? When there's...
Yeah, so once we've got something like a income rider, if you elect an index with an enhancement feature, again, these are all elections that you're making. Now, part of our process here that we service is that we're taking that time with you to fully educate you on what you're considering and making sure that this is the right product to suit what you need it to do. Specifically for you and your spouse, is it servicing that primary objective that you need? And sometimes a fee can add value.
Yeah, and the main thing too about any fees associated with an annuity is you're buying a contract between you and the issuing insurance company. And those fees are going to be clearly disclosed. It's going to educate you and define exactly what that fee covers and how it influences the income or the guarantee on growth or whatever that fee may be associated with. So it's no more hidden than a fee on a mutual fund or an advisory account, again, those assets under management. In fact, I would say that the annuity contract is often more transparent in terms of, what that fee is, what the value that fee is providing the contract owner.
Yeah, and I don't mean to harp on it too much, but from our end of it and the way we conduct business is it's just taking the time with the client, and it comes down to reviewing that contract, knowing
Yeah.
exactly what's in it. We've talked about situations where some folks have maybe worked with another advisor in the annuity world and not received what they expected or received less than satisfactory service. So it's just a primary focus that we have in continuing that education.
Yeah, transparency and education is everything in our firm, and we're really trying to blanket that across the entire industry. That there needs to be more transparency, there needs to be more education for consumers, and that's something that we're advocates for, and we're building in some of our process and in our platforms that we're going to be launching here in the near future. One of the things that always comes to mind, I try to stay abreast of all of the, uh, market competition in the industry, and I'll see like ads of our competitors on like Facebook or Google, but more or less, the ones that come to mind right now are the ones I see on Facebook, where there's an annuity ad or something along those lines, and then you read the comments, and it's always comments around, a lot of the comments that are shown sometimes are like super negative comments, like never buy an annuity. Annuities are too highly feed, and the only person that benefits is the advisor and that's writing it, and all of this crap. Like it's just a load of crap. It's hogwash. It's um, just it's BS, and it is what it is. What it is. It's actual BS. And oftentimes I'll be like, who is that person? That in their profile picture they look like they have a suit on, and then you click on it, and sure enough, it's an investment advisor that is saying that. And I will tell you, you really have to start questioning, does that investment advisor really have the best interest of his clients at heart? Because if he does, there's a chance that some of his clients, not all of them, but some of them would actually benefit from contractually guaranteed lifetime income. And it would remove the stress and the fear and concern that those clients have about their financial future, especially when it comes around their retirement income plan. And if you have an investment advisor that's bashing annuities, they are not a fiduciary, because the fiduciary is supposed to act in your best interest, not their own. Even if they have a disagreement with annuities or how it may serve somebody or the role it may play in retirement, the one thing that an investment advisor still can't do is put their best interest before yours. And that is where, it really frustrates me that a lot of times the people on the other side of the fence, these investment advisors that have bias, they're bashing annuities because it actually benefits them, because they know if assets go into an annuity contract, they can no longer charge their 1% or whatever their management fee is on that tranche of money. So there's a bias there, and that's wrong. Other times you'll see these negative comments about, oh, the agent that sold that annuity, they're, you know, buying their vacation or buying their boat with the commissions that they earned. And that's all crap. Like, yeah, there can be pretty lofty commissions, if you will, if you look at it. But in the grand scheme, that one-time lump sum payment that's paid in the form of a commission doesn't even hold a candle to a 1.5% asset under management fee over the same duration of time in the contract.
Mhm.
So if you take 1% a year, a lot of these indexed annuities are 10-year contracts, right? If you take 1% a year, multiply it by 10, what does that equal, Zach?
10.
10%. Well, we got paid 5. You see what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
And in addition to that, before anybody jumps to the conclusion, well, the investment advisor, they're meeting with us every year and they're going over our goals. So do we. As a matter of fact, that's our guarantee to our clients, is our annuity assurance guarantee. And that is, we meet with you annually to discuss the performance of your annuity, give you a quick refresher of why we put it in place and how it serves you. And then we adjust your index allocations or whatnot accordingly, should we deem necessary, together, mutually. And we do that without any ongoing management fees. We get that lump sum, but over the same 10-year time, we're meeting with you just as many times, having the same conversations, and we're actually paid less over that 10-year window versus an investment advisor. Okay. So you have to really look at it from that perspective. And again, not saying that an investment advisor shouldn't be charging a fee. That's not the point. The point is that when you do an apples to apples comparison, a commission versus a 1% fee every year, both models make sense in terms of how they're paying the person receiving it. It's just, there's not one better than the other. It's just trying to to try to do a transparent comparison, apples to apples. And I'm tired of people using the big commissions and stuff as an excuse of why annuities are bad. That's bullshit. And I'm here to stand on that business.
Yeah, it's two different solutions for somebody's overall plan. They're just used in two different ways. So
the other thing that bothers me, since I'm on the soapbox here too, is like the investment advisors, majority of them, and I say majority, I mean like 90% or more, they don't use custom portfolios or something that they've built or they have any intellectual property over. They're using cookie cutter portfolios that anybody has access to. And quite frankly, you could get access to it yourself if you invest with Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or Schwab or any of those. They all have their own cookie cutter portfolios, but are essentially the same thing. But yet the investment advisor is paying, charging you 1% or making you pay 1% to get access to a cookie cutter portfolio that there's nothing unique about. So you really have to start thinking, what is in your best interest there, and are they acting in it?
Let them cook. He's
on fire. My sound effect. Where's my...
He's on fire.
There we go. All
well,
right.
Speaking of best interest, we can stay on that topic. And when we get into it, here's where things get a little bit more real. And many advisors, like you said, they'll bash annuities under the claim that they're not quote unquote fiduciary friendly.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
So since 2020, we've had the National Association of Insurance Commissioners launch what's called the Best Interest Standard, or Model Regulation number 275. And over the last couple years, over 40 states have now adopted that model regulation. And it holds annuity professionals to a very strict standard and guideline.
Yeah, and here in Florida, we follow that guideline as well. So where our company is based out of, this takes us under this model, and ultimately annuity agents must follow 4 key obligations. That is, number 1, care. Understand the customer's financial situation and goals. Number 2, disclosure. Be transparent about the product features, risks, and compensation. Number 3, conflict of interest. Identify and manage any type of conflict. And number 4, documentation. Provide clear records for recommendations made.
And it's not technically a fiduciary standard, but it's very, very close. And it means annuity professionals can't just sell whatever they want. They have to justify how and why the annuity fits your goals and objectives.
Meanwhile, fee-only fiduciaries still get paid regardless of that performance. 1% of $1 million is $10,000. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything. All right, we'll leave it alone. We'll stop with that now.
Yep. We should leave those guys alone. We know that they wear their ties a little too tight sometimes. So let's take a look here at one of the questions that we've gotten earlier this week from a listener is, how can I tell what commission or fee I'm paying with an annuity?
Pretty straightforward. Ask your advisor or agent for the contract illustration, and that'll show you the following. It'll show you the surrender schedule. It'll show you any income rider fees, any ongoing charges. Most importantly, if it's fee-based annuity, it will spell it out in that as an advisory fee. So from the end of the fees itself, it would be shown in that illustration. Most commonly, that one-time commission is not going to be shown in the illustration, but it would be something that would be shared with you.
In addition to that, the advisor or agent that's working with you on these particular annuities should be fully transparent. If you ask them what commission they're being paid on that annuity or how that commission may compare to other annuities that they have, they should be fully transparent to show you that. And every one of these annuity products has a commission schedule or a compensation guide that is accessible, and they should be willing to show you that. And in addition, if it's qualified funds that are being rolled into the annuity, it's actually required on the application for the advisor to disclose what their commission percentage is on that product that's being charged, or not charged, but being paid to that advisor for that product that you're buying. And if the agent can't explain it, or they're not willing to be transparent, or maybe your intuition tells you yourself that they're not being honest, our advice would be to walk away. But if they're willing to do it and they don't have any issues, or they're not wearing their tie too tight, you probably got a good one there, and that you should maybe continue working with them.
Yeah, and I think going back to something like the illustration, if that illustration looks maybe a little bit too good to be true, if some numbers are floating off that chart that you're not seeing the market do, you create some questions around that and just ask yourself, is this person really looking out for my best interest? Listen, there's bad apples in every bunch. It's just a matter of finding the right one for you.
Yeah, I think that's a true statement for sure. And it comes down to really just fully, the advisor being fully transparent. And if you're starting, your little spidey senses are starting to tickle, and, you're feeling like, hey, this sounds too good to be true, or this doesn't add up, you should be working with someone that can show you and address those things in a transparent way. We don't sell by illustration. We've talked about it on previous episodes. We analyze the product inside and out from all of its features and benefits and all of the angles that we can see on our end from our chair, both looking at a back-tested scenario, but more importantly, over a real-time performance as well for the associated index, if it's an indexed annuity. But, it comes down to really feeling comfortable. And this is your financial future that we're talking about. You need to know all the ins and outs and intricacies and potential gotchas. And if you're working with someone that can't even answer a question around commissions or fees and show you with transparency and back up what they say, then obviously you're working with the wrong person. So if you're looking for the right person, we have a team of experts that truly put your best interest at heart, put them first above and beyond anything else. And we believe in trust through transparency. And we work with our clients face to face using Zoom and leverage technology to bring all the answers to the questions that you have, including, what the rates are, the commissions, what are the fee schedules if it's a surrender fee product, et cetera. And we also take you into an interactive, engaging process and bring the entire independent annuity marketplace directly to you. and show you how we compare and analyze all of these products side by side and how they stack up to helping you meet your defined objectives and goals for your hard-earned money. It's something that we take very serious, and we've really baked into our process the how important it is to us, because we understand that this is one of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make. And we want to feel confident from our side of things that you're confident on your side. And we do everything we can to provide that confidence and that transparency to ultimately foster trust, not in just us, but your ability to make your own educated decision on if an annuity is right for you. And if so, which one specifically is going to be the right fit. If you'd like to do that, you can visit our website, or in the show notes here, there will be a unique link to schedule a time for a free annuity discovery to meet with someone like Zach from our team. And if you're not ready to get started on a meeting, but maybe want to look at more information about annuity rates and different products, you can request a free annuity report, which there will be a unique link in the show notes here or description of the video. And that's where we'll ask you a few questions on the intake form so that we can curate and customize an annuity report, and we'll email that out to you at no cost.
That's right. And just, at the end of the day, just to kind of put a bow on this, it's not about how much somebody's getting paid. It's about how well they understand your goals and put your interests first. So more than happy to answer any questions and assist in any way that we can. But until next time, we are the Annuity
Dudes, where transparency comes first. Signing off.
See ya.
I like that new slogan, man. We're